what I was trying to get at is when you get to that level of maturity, when you were able to take accountability,
Mm-hmm.
because everything that happens bad in your life ain't always something that just happened. Maybe it's something that you created because you didn't learn again from your past situations, and you just
Hey guys, and welcome back to Unadulterated. I'm Bianca, and this is
Teddy. What's going on, everybody?
yeah. I'm glad that you guys are back with us for another video. And so, if we can, let's just jump right into it.
Okay, what's the topic tonight?
I have a question and then a question I've had to ask myself. So I want to ask you guys, what are your trials producing?
Hmm. What do you mean by that? Like, elaborate.
So, like, are your trials producing good fruit, or is it like hardening your heart, or what is it doing, like, as far as your life is concerned? Is it producing more of a cycle, or is it producing you to be liberated from cycles? Because somewhere in there we recognize, okay, I'm going through this, I keep going through this other thing, and all these challenges continue to present themselves, but you know I'm not gonna let this harden my heart because somebody did me wrong. I'm not gonna let this stop me from loving other people, or because I lost a job, I'm not gonna let that stop me from applying for another one, or because you know my loved one died, that doesn't mean that I'm gonna just shut down. So trials produce negative feelings, negative roots, negative things, and sometimes it can be a positive thing. And I think that is the intention of God when trials are allowed, is to produce something good out of you. So that's what I'm trying to ask. What are your trials producing?
For me, the first question, because I'm a realist, right? The first question I gotta ask is, where did your trial come from? Because that's a huge question you gotta ask yourself. Is this just life happening to me, or this is something I created? Because a lot of us, we go through stuff, but we're really reaping what we sow. Maybe somewhere in the past you made a decision, and you're just pretty much living out what a bad decision that you made in the past, and you're just reaping the harvest of that bad seed.
Mm-hmm. So, like, finding out what is the origin of the trial
Mm-hmm.
is important, because we don't want to continue to face those same things. I get that. And just say if I went through one bad relationship,
Mm-hmm.
and then I fast forward to relationship number 10.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine what kind of heart do I have at this point? Like, I'm really vulnerable at this point, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm really weakened, and probably just like letting the situation beat me down at this point. Like, I might go for anything at this point at relationship 10. And that doesn't mean you have to be sexually active. I'm just saying relationships.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you were talking about something earlier about what were you talking about? The pebbles?
I don't remember what I was talking about last time, but I got another one, a good example.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say, like, let's say, I'm gonna use a woman for example. Let's say she's sexually active, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we adults here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Life is life, right? We
Yeah,
just unadulterated. We keep it real, right? Let's
exactly.
say a woman is sexually active, right? And she's not taking the precautions that she should take. She's not using protection. She's not using birth control. She's going out on multiple dates, and she's not being cautious.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say she deals with a particular individual, and she gets pregnant, right? So you can easily say, don't get me wrong, I believe that children are a blessing, but if you have a child in a certain situation, it could feel like a trial. So you would say, oh, I'm going through this situation. But at the same time, you kind of created the situation because you were not taking the precaution. You were just out here just doing what you were supposed to do. You weren't being safe. And now the seed that you had planted which happens to be a dude seed. He planted seed in you, and now you got the harvest of what he planted, right? Pretty much.
Yeah,
right?
it's like, but it makes me like, that's really a different situation because
It's not, because you could have did what you need to do, but because you out here.
Because you remember earlier you were talking about like church people and how they could be so deceptive. Like you go for them because you think they're people of faith. They represent themselves to be one way, and so it's not. Maybe she's not promiscuous. Maybe she trusted that person was who they said they were.
Well, that's a different situation. If you was really
And
doing
he
what
didn't
you
even
was,
have to be in the church. Maybe she trusted that he was who he represented himself to be, whatever setting.
yeah, I mean, if that's the case, then she didn't do anything wrong. But I'm not talking about that type of person. I'm talking about the type of person who just out here just living. They chilling, they popping bottles, they's out here, they not being safe. And then when that situation happens, you're the first one to say, oh, why is this happening to me? Well, you was living your life and you didn't take no precaution.
Yeah, well, I like that you're saying about taking precaution because that can go to another level of, we need to take necessary precautions altogether. Like you said, the decisions that you make, will govern your life. Now, God is graceful. He's merciful not to give you, what I hear Ron Carpenter say. He said, grace is when God gives you what you don't deserve. And mercy is when God gives you, no. Grace is God when God gives you what you don't deserve. Yeah, and mercy is when he gives you what doesn't give you what you do deserve.
Okay.
Let me say it again. Grace is when God gives you what you don't deserve. Those are the blessings,
Yep.
and all that stuff. And mercy is when he doesn't give you what you do deserve.
Yeah, that's it. That's it right there.
He's sparing your life from all this mess that you've created. So that's the grace and mercy that God gives us. So, yeah, but still necessary for us to use wisdom and operate in wisdom and, make the best sound decisions because he gave us a sound mind. And that does determine when you say, oh, how did I get in this position? Then that is, to me, considered somewhat of a trial. And what is it producing? It produces chaos when we don't, use discernment or take the necessary precaution, as you said, altogether.
But what I was trying to get at is when you get to that level of maturity, when you were able to take accountability, because everything that happens bad in your life ain't always something that just happened. Maybe it's something that you created because you didn't learn, again, from your past situations, and you just.
I do like that you're saying to be accountable and the maturity of accountability, because that's where the trials and what it produces takes a turn. It doesn't have to be the end all be all, the mistake or whatever you did, a decision that you made that wasn't the best decision. It doesn't have to be the end all be all. Maybe you can take that trial and produce something good from it. That's what
Exactly.
That's where He works all things together for the good of those who love him. That's where the word comes in, So a lot of times stuff is out of context. I wouldn't say that's out of context. I think that word is good in many settings. And so this is time that he can work it together for your good. If you mature or be mature enough to be accountable and then act accordingly, based off of what you gather. Because we do have to assess our situation and say, like you said, how did I get here? What was the origin of it? Because if we don't assess how we got there, we will continue in the same cycle. And our heart will be hardened, and no word or anything can take root in our heart for us to take on the promises that God has for us.
Exactly. And I think that's pretty much maturity, where you learn from your mistakes. And it's like, you don't make the same, if you're 15 years old and you're making the same mistakes when you're in your 40s that you did when you was 15, that's a huge problem.
It is. It's sad. It happens though. So I did also see where I was reading about trials and stuff like that, and I thought about how they can be a blessing though, because the things that we go through, give us a heart for other people, and allow us to have compassion and love for other people, and understanding, because hey, I've been there before too. Or maybe I didn't do it exactly like you did it, but I done it too. And I understand. And that's where that love comes in, where we can then walk together and work, help each other to work ourselves out of the situation.
And the reason I'm smiling is because when you said that, I'm sorry, people, because we keep referring to Ron Carpenter. We both watch Ron Carpenter, and he's on point, man. If you have never watched Ron Carpenter, watch one of his. We don't really. Yeah, I mean he's a beast in the pulpit. But I remember one time, what was he saying? He was saying something about oh man, I don't lost my thought. Giving him a shout out.
Something about love. I said something about love, and that's when you smile, I believe, about having compassion for other people.
Oh man, I done lost it. What's going on with me tonight? But it'll come back to me. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying trials don't have to be a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
They can be a good thing, and whether it be the lady who had a child or whatever, however that happened, the child is a blessing. So think about it that way. It's not the end of the world unless you make it.
I got it back.
Okay.
Ron Carpenter said pretty much, and this is everything in life. Everything that comes towards you is a mindset. It's what you name it. So if you name it as a trial, then that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the trial is not a trial. Maybe it's an opportunity. Maybe it's a door.
Yeah. And so, because see, remember, he talks about how we know that God is not working from he's not somewhere trying to figure it out now. He's working from the future. He already knew what he was going to do before you did. So,
exactly.
Of course, a lot of those challenges, those trials, those tribulations, everything, a lot of those things are opportunities to see the greater what's in you. You know what I'm saying? Like for me,
exactly.
Okay, say if I get a child or whatever, or I'm going through a breakup in a relationship, then it's so hard. This is so hard, and I don't know what I'm gonna do, but it's producing something great in me because now I'm looking at, okay, how am I gonna make up maybe that income that I don't have anymore? How am I gonna take care of these kids? And guess what? God show you your gifts, or he shows you some things that you can do on the side or whatever, and make more than whatever you think you lost. Or when you maybe be working in the church or something, and there's nobody who does a certain thing, or nobody knows about a certain thing, and then you go and learn about it, and you can use that skill that you acquired, to benefit the church.
Yeah.
You can use that skill to provide for yourself and your family for generations to come. Who knows? You don't know. But it seems, oh man, I gotta go down to the church. I gotta ask people do this stuff. They ain't got nobody else to do it and all this stuff. I mean, we can complain through it and then get nothing out of it, or we can take it and use this as an opportunity to better ourselves.
Exactly. I could think of another example. Like, let's say if you had a car and the engine went out on it, and you're like, oh man, I'm out of a car. This is so bad. Oh, this is a terrible situation. Like, what am I going through? And then they tow your car to the dealership and they check it out and they say, oh, well, you know what? This was under a recall, so we're going to give you a whole brand new car. So here you go with a brand new car, but you wasn't viewing it as a good situation. You was viewing it as, oh man, this is bad. My engine is bad, and how am I gonna fix this? I can't afford it. But then God turning around and he says, well, it's a recall on the car, and now you got a whole new engine or a whole new car.
And a lot of times we find ourselves though complaining and mumbling through the whole thing, having a problem with it, not even knowing what's around the corner for you. A lot of times, I can think of many times where it turned into an opportunity for me, and just retrospectively wishing that I would have looked at it differently. But those are the things that come with maturity, and I see like, okay, what I'm saying, now today I may not be complaining right off the top about what I'm going through, but I can rejoice and hope
Oh
and
yeah.
knowing that, he's got something for me. A lot of times when you face that opposition, there's something good on the other side. That's it. That's period.
For real. I mean, I'm not gonna put my personal business out there, but I know for a fact, some of my worst situations turned out to be some of my best triumphs in the end.
Yeah, big blessings, big blessings.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have
Oh
to
yeah.
get money either, just
Mm-hmm.
blessings all together.
Oh yeah,
So yeah,
definitely.
I would encourage the viewers, to maybe look at your trials and see what, even some past trials that you feel like, oh, that was a big moment. Then I dealt with something so hard, and see, did you allow that to discourage you, or maybe cause you to have depression, or is it something that you're carrying with you now, or did you allow it to better you, and where are you now from having gone through that? How did it position you? What did it produce in you? um I believe that God, if it has hardened your heart, because we go through some things and it's not easy. God,
Absolutely.
I know that God can heal that too, because He's done it for me. And I don't want to get all soft and stuff and on here, but just to be honest and real, that He's definitely done it for me, even when I've had a situation where my heart was hardened towards another person, or towards, being open to another situation. God, really did, when I surrendered it to Him, the trial, the issue, whatever the person, He really did remove the stony heart and give you back that heart of flesh. So, He can do it for y'all too. And
Oh
the
yeah, definitely.
sap is over, and you know, because it
I mean,
sounds
the only
so sappy and extra, but for real, we got feelings and stuff. We go through stuff. This is real life. This is real.
mhm.
This ain't no game.
I mean, the only encouragement I would give you is just keep on fighting, because while you going through it right now, it might not feel like things are working out for you, or you might not understand why things are going. But later on, trust me, you'll understand. You
Yeah,
will.
you know why. And then that understanding, that wisdom, that's something you will not be able to pay for. So
Mm-hmm.
more so embrace it, ask God, why am I going, you can ask him, why are you going through it? He'll tell you. And then
Oh
just
yeah,
use it for your good. Use it to better yourself. And, don't beat yourself up. Everybody make mistakes. That's all day long. Nobody's exempt. So
absolutely.
yeah, so thanks you guys for tuning in again to our topic, and we're so happy to see you guys just hopefully getting something from this. I do hear a lot of people say stuff, they may not comment or whatever, but I do hear a lot of people say how some of the topics did help them. And so, we're glad to do that. If we can help one person, then we've done what we came to do. And so hopefully you guys will like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell, and follow us on Unadulterated You. That's going to be even on Facebook and Instagram. The tag is
Yeah.
at Unadulterated You. And you can email us too, unadulteratedyou@gmail.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Oh yeah, we want some more topics, and we want some engagement. Hopefully, we can have a box where it's like 1, 2, 3, or 4 other people where they're engagement. We want a bit of a community. It's not about Bianca. It's not about me. We never want to get on YouTube and
This
be.
book is so cool. We're going to have an unadulterated community of people that we can
Yeah,
share in real life situations, lend to one another, and really show some real love. And in the absence, we don't have to have no judgment or none of that, but more so an understanding, and to produce a better us.
exactly.
Yep. Talk to you guys next time.